Hi guys. Well, my personal mood and I think my place on the wave just goes so beautifully synchronized with this darkening of the light. So I don't even know exactly where I am on my wave, but I know I'm not very high. I'm not at the bottom or so, but I'm somewhere and looking at this darkening of the light, I just had so many realizations and um, understandings about what this darkening of the light is. It's so beautiful. So we begin a week that is the crisis in Eden. It began a few hours ago, and the moon now is in gate 46, in the gate of the love of the body, and right after this it will start moving through all the gates of the spleen. And because we have this global conditioning pattern that we are so used to it, the channel of transformation, and the spleen is all lightened up. So we will experience the gate of the spleen one after the other. So I just wrote it for us. I'm not going to get deep into it. Just look at it and remember that we're going to experience all these aspects of intuition, aspects of splenic fears, existential fears. It's going to be interesting. So the sun is in the darkening of the light, the rule of cycles in which decline is a natural but not enduring stage. And I want to just share a little personal experience that I'm going through, that I just felt it this morning. I'm going through something emotional, very deep, and I just had this realization that it's okay to feel this darkening of the light, because it's not permanent. I know it will change. I know the feeling will change. So it was such a relief the moment I just felt it. I could in this moment be less identified with this feeling I feel inside of me. And this feeling has a story connected to it, but it doesn't matter, because it's, the 36 is a motor gate, and it just shows us the ups and downs of this emotional motor. And as an emotional being, I always forget that I have this wave. It's not that if I'm emotional, I will always remember. That's the funny thing about it, that we don't remember. So suddenly the transit light projected on me to see, to open my eyes and remember that what I feel now will change. Nothing is, it's not an enduring stage. So it made it easier to embrace this feeling of crisis. I wouldn't call it really crisis, but it is a little darkening of the light. So, it encouraged me. So we have this gate of inexperience that really wants to be experienced. And of course, because the earth is in the sixth gate, and we have the 59-6, we have the channel of intimacy the whole week. And this, of course, is very, very dense and intense energy, and it will make us feel this darkening of the light. And of course, the south node, the gate of abundance, yes, the gate of the spirit, the 55th gate, the fickleness. So we're going to be moody and excited or not, being through the crisis or not. Of course, it's not ours, but we can't not experience the data that comes. So we really need to be very, very locked in our strategy in order to get from it the correct aspects of this data. for us, that is good for us. And we don't forget the channel of transformation. So we have this very tribal global conditioning pattern, 2 channels, 2 tribal channels, and all the other additional sweets that decorate our cake, our tribal cake. The gate of friction, conflict, the fundamental design component of progress, the law that growth cannot exist without friction. And it goes so well with the darkening of the light, because you have this friction, this intimacy that causes friction and conflict in yourself. It doesn't have to be with another person. It could be the conflict is in you, the friction is with the other person, and then it can create a conflict in you between the mind and the emotions or whatever. And then there's these experiences, emotional experiences that might lead us to crisis, but it's all part of growth. We can't do anything, we can't grow without this friction. And it's beautiful to have all this with Uranus in the gate of growth, in the line of trial and error, that tells us that trial and error is an essential part of growth. So it's all okay. We just need to breathe and embrace the place that we are on the wave, in the process, with our loved ones, everything. It's just everything moving. We remember the gate of continuity. Everything is moving, and the only permanent thing, enduring thing, is the change. So a very emotional week, and Mars entered the 27th gate, the gate of caring, and also forms almost all the defense circuit, not all of it, but most of it. So we also have this nurturing, this need to get mental nurturing, mental caring, or to give this caring. It depends on the line and on the design, but it's all very, very, it's all there for all of us to feel, to see, to experience. So the gate of correction will be the first splenic gate, and also we can see that Saturn has moved to the 6th line of the 11th gate. And then the next splenic gate that the moon enters will be the gate of solutions, and then the gate of intuitive insight, yes, the 57th gate. And in the 15th, in the morning, in the 8 GMT, 8:05 GMT, we are going to experience the whole defense circuit, thanks to the moon that will be in the gate of values. So we are going to have a lot of feeling of ambitious and transformational tribal sexuality and tribal nurturing. It's all about the defense circuit is all about making babies and then taking care of them. Yes, the channel of intimacy, a design of reproduction, and then the channel of conservation, I think it's called, a design of, I don't remember what it is, design of, I don't remember, but it's all about educating the tribe, educating the family, nurturing, mental nurturing, in order to let the young ones have their values that will help them survive later in their lives. So all this we're going to experience for 10 hours with this moon in the gate of values. Then interesting thing is happening. After the gate of values, the moon enters the gate of the game player, and this is an interesting gate. And it goes. There's a very interesting thing here, because the gate that is the opposition on the wheel, opposition in the wheel of this game player is the gate of caring. And the gate of caring is sitting in Mars now, and entering on this date is going to enter the third line. And Mars fixes the 27th third line on the detriment side. And this is a line which is not easy, not only in the detrimental side. Yes, this line is called greed. It's the trial and error of the caring. And this line is called greed, the obsession with having much more than one needs. So Mars, which is a very mutative and, well, I would say mutative and rebelling energy, yes, fixes this line on the detriment, the lust for power to get more than one needs. This is really, you know, it's about a lust that inevitably cripples and addicts. And it's not easy to carry this line. It's not easy to feel it in the detriment, in the transits. But we are going to have 2 days to feel it and to see, and this is in a lightened up sacral because of the channel of intimacy. And with the gate of the game player, the first day it's going to be with the gate of the game player. These 2 gates together, they have this, this weird feeling to it in this line when Mars will fix the greed on the detriment. So I don't know what we're going to feel, but let's smell it. The spleen, yeah, let's smell it. The moon will move to the gate of alertness, and then it would leave the spleen and come to the gate of breakthrough in the ajna. And we're going to have a Mercury in the gate of opinions, the moon in the gate of the intuitive, the gate of insight, and 11th gate, Saturn still sit there, the gate of ideas. So a lot of mental activities, especially if the ajna is defined through the 4th gate to the 63, and other configurations maybe to the throat, you know, or the gate in the throat that can define it. So a lot of mental activities, and these mental activities look down at the transformational sexuality that we have. So never a dull moment this week. From there, the moon moves to the empowerment of the 14th. Then it moves to self-empowerment in the gate of power, the 34th gate. And when the 34th gate would arrive to the 5th line, then in this moment, Jupiter that is retrograding is going to release the channel of transformation, release the gate of duration, and move into the gate of intuitive insight, the 57th gate, that would form for 2 or 3 hours with the moon, the channel of power. But this is just a little taste of this channel, but then 14:37 GMT, the same day, just a few hours afterwards, the moon moves on to the 9th gate, and then the spleen is released. The global conditioning pattern of the transformation is not there. The channel of power is not there. The spleen is free, but because the 57th gate, the intuitive insight, is an integration gate, it has 3 harmonic gates. So people that have the 20th, the 10th, or and the 34th gate will have global, not a global, but a pattern, a transit conditioning pattern that would stay until May 4th. So I am going to experience the perfected form as usual, and other people will get what they have. And of course, when we have this long-term conditioning in our chart, when the moon will come to the 20th or to the 34th, and other planets too, the integration, more than one channel of the integration would be lightened up. And of course, for non-sacral beings, it's a very interesting experience, or non-splenic beings. Of course, everybody takes this differently, but because of this integration and configuration, there's a lot of options and a lot of activations. So very emotional, sexual, and intense week. And to survive, to survive in this neutrino ocean, and to even enjoy it and learn from it and grow from it, we have our quartet. And I can't emphasize enough how from day to day I learn more and more to appreciate the strategy. The strategy is the basis, is the fundamental thing for all this quartet, for all this experiment, for all this what we call life, because it really is our protection. It's our navigator, it's everything. And the mind is so intelligent that it finds ways all the time to try and, make a detour and just, move a little, just try this, just a little thing. And I have the reason, yes, it gives a lot of reasons, but as long as we stick to the strategy, most of our friction in life is dissolving. I can't emphasize this enough. I know I repeat myself for a long time, every week or every other week or whatever, but I just experienced this, and wow. And and even when the darkening of the light comes, and even when there's crisis or conflict in life, and emotional highs and lows, there's nothing like the strategy to protect us. As of course, all the other members of this quartet, that this week I will leave them alone, let them play their music. I don't want to interfere, but just here's to our strategy. And thank you for who you are and what you bring into my life and the love you send me. I send you back, and I love you a lot, and see you next week. Bye-bye.